interesting one nonetheless. It sounds like we are going to have a game, so let's send it over to our two fantastic casters over on the other side of the panel. It's Toby and Sin. Gentlemen, enjoy EG versus FNATIC.
Thanks a lot, Dakota, and we definitely will. Syndrin, you're fantastic.
You're fantastic too, Toby. Let's hug it out.
It's nice listening to all you guys talking about the draft. Because I'm sitting here and I'm looking at FNATIC's draft and I'm feeling wonderful elements to push, stability in the lanes, the Nature's Prophet we've seen him time and time again throughout the majors, and even before the majors, he's just everywhere, always supporting, always helping out. And EG, with what almost seems to be like we have to harass and then get instant pickoffs with the effect of the Nyx Assassin and the Bounty Hunter, I feel like EG have set themselves a really difficult task in this game.
It's... in a way you could say that EG are under pressure to do things, but on the other hand I also don't think it's that difficult to pull off the kind of chaos that they're looking to make in the early game. You already see they're going to invade the opponent jungle and secure this bottom rune. They might actually try to go for both runes. No, they're going to stick around with 5 here, hoping for FNATIC to come contest a bit.
I want to watch where and see where Fear also puts his sentry wards, because they just planted that one observer ward right on top of the Radiant observer ward, and DJ's going to come over and instantly get rid of this. So EG's movement inside the jungle, or to watch DJ's movement inside the jungle, it's going to have to be Bounty Hunter stalking this Chen left, right, and center. And we see which camps also Fear wants to block up. Normally you do just take out this easy hard camp, which is exactly what Fear is moving towards now. And he'll only commit a sentry for it.
But the Chen doesn't really get... camp? I'm wondering if he can make it to the top camp before 30. He's going to try to courier snipe. I don't think FNATIC is going to fall for this now. He's...
well, mid one's not even buying anything. And is he even really forced to? Like, he's up against a Nyx Assassin. Like, you don't really need to have like that early salve thrown out to you, because you can just play aggressive in the lane anyway with 2 shared tangos.
Absolutely. This is such an easy lane for the Viper. He doesn't even need to be that scared of the bounty rotation, because I think those two together can't kill him. But if there's any additional hero brought in, obviously PPD would be the main choice, then you have kill potential. But he's busy up top.
Yeah,
trading with Ohio and not really winning.
At least Ohio didn't have the tree and sandwich with the Storm Bolt. They used both their stuns, and Ohio's got his own creep wave coming in. They don't have enough damage. Ohio will survive barely. Gets back into the safety. And he'll buy a TP scroll, but he'll have to walk all the way back to base to regenerate. And Fear, he is stalking DJ. He's not giving this Chen any kind of space. They actually battled for the D ward previously, as we're showing up on the screen. It's DJ tried to escape him by going up that northern camp. And Fear's just keeping with him. And DJ will also have to go back. So this Chen, no early rotations coming out from him. And is that really like the big thing? Like, you've now got like mid one who's still having himself a pretty easy trade lane here with Sumail. Mushi's getting a lot of space on this Lashrak on the bottom lane. Obviously it's never the easiest time because you're going up against Iron Shell harass. And you can't really do anything about the Darkseer. The lanes almost feel like so passive that FNATIC can't find an opening, because the Chen's just taken out of play.
I do think it's good enough so far for EG for sure with what they've done. Just pressuring the Chen out like this. Darkseer got quite a bit out of that bottom lane in terms of levels. He's going to find his level 3 at this hard camp now. And what I think we didn't see on camera was that FNATIC actually tried to kill him in the lane. They use Edict, they just start running him down with Lashrak and Bane just hitting him, because they want to bait out the Surge and then Nightmare. And then ultimately they take him down to about half
mid one, real trouble, Fear initiating in, and now he's going to actually consume up the very fire. The bottle will arrive, but he can't get the charge off in time. EG will take first blood. Ohio is coming down under the cover of that invis room, but if he just went in, actually nothing would have happened. Sumail's completely out of mana. But that's just EG waiting for the right time, and mid one getting caught out.
I really didn't think they would be able to get this kill with those two heroes. It's very impressive how Sumail has managed to play this lane so far. He's played it pretty evenly up against the Viper, and obviously has been able to set up just a little bit of damage before Fear rotates in, and it's good enough to be able to get that kill. And since this was the lane EG were supposed to lose, now that they got the first blood in that lane and Sumail is looking good on levels, honestly, this was the biggest concern for me for EG's draft early on, and they've overcome that part already.
When Sumail actually hits level 6, do you even want him to stay here in the middle lane, or is there someone else that should rotate into the mid? Is that like when PPD, for example, gets some space to get levels? Because it's very difficult to put anyone else in there up against the Viper.
Fear could also get his track that way. Lane in the mid lane, because, you know, him being mid...
Oh, Ohio, top lane, it started again. All the boys in the panel called it. Hits the invis into Iron Shell, and the damage started on Ohio, and all PBD had to do was walk out of the trees. And now that's 2-0 in favor of EG. Samael falling very low in the mid to the attack from mid one. But not low enough. And mid one going all out aggression too. A 2-2-0 build coming out from this Viper. No points up in corrosive skin.
Yeah, that's why they could get the kill, actually. And now he's finally going to get a point. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't get one value point. I mean, sure, you're laning against the Nyx, who generally doesn't pose much of a threat, but it's still just, whenever he hits you or casts a spell, just taking that, getting that slow in is really important.
Ned's just being a pain to Universe. He can't do this too much because he knows Fear was roaming around the mid. Even with his haste rune, he's got to give a little bit of respect to that rotating bounty.
And this is what we need to keep an eye out for FNATIC. So we've talked about
mid one. Oh, is he dead again? It looks like he's dead again.
He really is. There's a Prophet.
Started with a tornado. Prophet comes in too late, and he's so low on levels because he hasn't got that much out of the offlane. PBD's done a really great job of zoning out Ohio that you don't have that Wrath of Nature. You don't have Nature's Prophet ready to TP in every single time. And when the attack comes in from EG, it seems to like always catch like mid one by surprise.
And it's just been difficult for FNATIC to seemingly help him. I'm a little bit surprised that the Bane hasn't moved more, because it's very clear that Darkseer is just getting a lot out of the jungle. Mushi can easily stand in this lane on his own. He's already started pushing the tower, and that's what I was getting at. FNATIC, this super early game has not worked out. It's time to put some pressure and force EG to play on your terms, and this is the first step toward it. 3 points in Edict, you go for this tower. EG are probably just going to sack it, actually, but it's a start for FNATIC in this game.
Yeah. They're trying to slow down the wave, but already that tower's been brought down. The Iron Shell creep didn't even get there in time before the tower dropped. So with 3-0 on the board, EG still having a great time. You lose your tier 1 tower on bottom lane, sure. But Arteezy's getting free farm. Like he's almost, he's not double the CS, but he's getting pretty damn close to that once he'll take a couple of stacks up against Mushi. So this Ven's getting more and more and more. EG also have a lineup which it wouldn't be too difficult just to slip inside the Roche pit. Well, they just keep farming, stacking, mid one again. Samael, this time it's Vendetta attack. Fear will come as well. And we've basically got the Invis Bash Brothers just rotating across the map, fighting anyone they want to kill. And Viper, who's normally difficult to kill, is proving to be like paper.
He must be really regretting his skill build right now. I actually think if he had gone for Classic 113, he might not have died a single time. But EG obviously just taking advantage of his confidence in the mid lane. I'm not sure if they read his
They're going to go again.
Build.
Samael has illusion rune, so they're able to go underneath that tower. Arteezy will land the stun as well. But Ohio, he's low but not low enough. Mushi comes in with the Pulse Nova. The Nightmare from Net actually making it difficult for Mushi to pump out the damage, but they do still have enough. As Nyx Assassin picked off. Very aggressive play. Like the chance of that really working should be low unless like FNATIC had TPs on cooldown.
But it's not. This is how you confirm that it is Samael playing on his account. It's that there's some sort of reckless dive that is super high risk. This time it doesn't work, but I think there's a bit of margin for error for him. The lane went so unexpectedly well. At least from my perspective, this might be EG's plan all along, and they thought they were gonna just crush this lane. There's a little of he can make a mistake like that, and
in a way, it does create space.
Force rotation, exactly. It creates space. Fear is getting some very good levels. He's level 5 now, in minute 7 on Bounty. If Bounty has a bad game, sometimes you see him getting level 6 around like minute 15, and that's just not gonna happen this game.
But EG read it, like they know that FNATIC are going to be pushing in this top lane. Surprisingly though, they leave Arteezy up here. And with the Sprout, they got pretty damn good vision of him. The Treants kind of stopped chasing Arteezy into the trees. He's not TPing out just yet. In fact, he's wrapping around behind. And Samael surged forward, looking for a target, sitting inside Vendetta. DJ dropping very, very low. The power's in cask as well. Mushi can't escape from this one. They back him back in again. DJ will drop Ohio. He was sent back by the Genesis. The last-ditch effort in Ohio. He can't even do that. The body will be sent home to his family as Net. He's also now managed to grab the aggro of the creep wave, and he's got Fear hot in his tail. Janada's off cooldown. All they gotta do is just rip into Net. They may be able to reach him though. Like the phase boots are there from Fear, but he doesn't want to trigger them.
Oh, he went phase. Yeah, you're right. Then maybe he could have reached, because they have the same base move speed, so he's actually not really catching up to the Bane. Or actually, they don't. But Bane has the arcanes. But anyway. EG get 3 kills. They do lose the tower. Did they deny it? They did not. So that fell to drain. So at least FNATIC accomplished that, but this early game is looking very, very grim for them. Sven is getting great farm. By the way, super play from Arteezy there. I don't think we highlighted that enough. How he quelled through 2 trees to find a flank angle and get in behind FNATIC. We're not expecting that at all. So very big individual play from him.
And FNATIC were probably expecting they had full control. Like they managed to wrap around the town. They had creep wave on top of it. They weren't really seeing EG, but like, they're still playing up against double invis, this Nyx Assassin and Bounty Hunter. And again, here comes the gank. They go after DJ, and they'll find him. There's going to start to be track kills coming the way of EG, and the money will just start to skyrocket. Especially as they'll start pushing down buildings as well, because they still haven't taken a tier 1 tower. But you're 8-1 in, and you've already got a 2.5k advantage without taking a tower, and you're actually behind by 2 tier 1 towers. Just shows you just how much EG has gotten out of the landing phase and the following kills.
And when you see this unfolding, it makes you wonder. You know, it's understandable that FNATIC are confident in their own strategy, but they willingly pick Chen into this Bounty Hunter Darkseer opening, which I think both heroes are actually good against Chen. So they really, in a way, set themselves up for disaster when they could have easily just adjusted the draft, kept the Prophet as a good opener, and just taken it in a different direction. Well, DJ is a very talented player. He can play so many different heroes and roles in the game. It doesn't have to be this kind of style.
Well, they're using the tree to scout out Arteezy right now, so they're going to see him, but Arteezy pops the war cry, and the movement speed will allow him to outrun the rest of this FNATIC smoke gang squad. TP support's coming in as well from PPD in case they go a little bit further. So all FNATIC can do is throw down the ward. But you're right, man. I think actually you said it perfectly during the draft. FNATIC draft exactly what they've been doing previously. And like, if there's one thing we know about EG, as the tournament goes on, they learn more and more and more about their opponents and what they're going to do. Now, the sample size is a lot smaller for a group stage format like what we had for this major, but they seem to like instantly have FNATIC's number. PPD didn't even delay to go for that double opening. Like, he knew what they were going to get into and how they would execute it. And this Nyx Assassin pick is just, it's paid off after the Viper died. That was one thing that probably EG couldn't bank on, like the non-corrosive skin build. But now DJ, here we go again. Nets in the neighborhood. They need to try and save DJ, but they cannot do it. But they will see Sumail. The dust went out, so they both have a vision on Sumail as well as Fear if they can keep up with them. And Ohio TPs himself in a little bit further forward, but now the Sprite actually blocks up the rest of his teammates. They have to run around the tree line. And this actually helps Sumail to escape. Sumail actually carrying that quelling blade, so he's able just to get himself outside of the Sprout. And both Fear and Sumail expend the time of the dust and just walk away.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It is so hard to play a lineup like FNATIC's with this early game that they've had. You've got to be terrified with going anywhere, and even inside your own jungle, you don't feel safe. We're 10 minutes in, and you could just tell that they're having a very difficult time making calls because they have no information to go on. There are missing heroes, but they can't even just ward and see their rotations to an extent.
This is what you actually brought to. Ohio with an observer ward TPs into the Roche pit so he can leech the ancient experience. This is... you're not able to make any kind of plays. Like, maybe if the Viper actually had a better time in mid and you had a mech, then this 5-man push from FNATIC would be a hell of a lot scarier. Like, you wouldn't even want to go into a team fight if you're EG, let alone have the option to actually find pickoffs. But now they're going to go. Sumail finds a stun over on net, the follow-up from Arteezy. They get another one, Fear. He was trapped inside the Sprout for a short period of time. Again, they go with the dust as Mushi actually isolates Fear up near the Ancient. He's going to find that pickoff himself as Ohio, DJ, and mid one, they're all chasing after a new target. A double stun from Sumail. I'll actually give space for Arteezy to escape once again. So it ends up just being a 1-for-1 trade-off. At this point in the game, maybe you're actually happy with that as FNATIC.
Oh, you definitely are. You got the kill bounty on the Leshrac, so he almost gets a full Yule Scepter at this point. And maybe they can transition this into a mid tower. And this is the one thing EG needs to be a little bit careful with, is giving them opportunities. If EG lose a fight, they lose an objective. That's just FNATIC's lineup right there. Treants, level 4, Diabolic Edict, Chen creeps, Bolshevik. Chen's level 5, by the way.
With no hand of God, I was talking about how difficult it is without the mech, let alone having a Chen who just cannot find his level 6 13 minutes into a game. And you can thank a lot of that to what Fear was doing. That bounty pick straight to the Chen. Who cares about like D-push when you can actually stop him from ever reaching a point where he's got enough strength to push. It's also great for Arteezy the fact he's managed to slip himself past that. Like, sometimes that was that danger point with his Ven where you weren't sure with the Helm of the Dominator if you'd be punished. But he's already got the Yasha up and running.
He is super farmed.
Yeah, he's sitting at 6.4k net worth 13 minutes in. He's very happy with his position.
And you're looking at it and you check the relative difference to Mushi, but then you keep in mind Mushi just got a 700 kill bounty for killing that bounty hunter. So just in terms of raw farm, the Sven is doubling him up pretty much. Sven has 119 CS, there's 64 on the Lash. But that's a pretty rare sight nowadays.
The money still goes to good use. Like, you get a Eul Scepter now from Mushi. That's something which at least allows him to control up a hero during the team fight, dispel off that track if he's on it, or potentially set up for a FNATIC gank as well. Eul's into that split earth and just find a very quick pick. And there isn't anyone really on EG that's got a good escape from that.
I would argue Sumail is okay against it. Because you get Eul'd and then you insta-carapace when you land, and then you at the very least keep yourself safe for a little bit of time and you stun up the Leshrac guaranteed if he tries to combo you at all. But apart from that, yeah, it's a good item on Leshrac in general. The one downside for Mushi though, he is so fragile. If he doesn't get to cast the Euls in the first place, he can just get blown up. Like, Nyx's combo on him right now probably deals about like 600 or 700 damage. Leshrac sitting on 6 armor, Vendetta hits pretty hard. You just need a shuriken toss and he's dead.
I kind of want to watch Sumail very closely here. He's managed to pick up a double damage rune. And still hasn't used his Vendetta just yet. Fear's doing the scouting as FNATIC are moving around in force.
Very good ward.
It's basically a 4-1 at the moment because you've still got that push going on the top lane. A FNATIC, now they actually dropped down the sentry ward. With the Chen army around the side, they've actually scouted out Fear. So they understand what's going on, but that ward, as you said, from EG, it sees everything. Net initiated on, can they find the kill? The hand of God kicks in. Net, he's gonna Nightmare, can't deny himself up, being sent back by the Chen with the brain stab. He'll stay alive. The Death Ward not doing enough from PPD, and this is the best fight that FNATIC's had so far until the back wall from Universe. They've still picked up PPD, the double stun from Arteezy. They're not gonna follow it through. Mid one and Net, they're chasing over. And EG, they're just legging it out. They've had enough of this.
That looked like a fairly good engage from EG, but the Hand of God, the big save there onto the Bane, and allows them to TP back in the Bane and be fighting ready there. A lot of abilities obviously committed from EG for that opener. I think the one key tool that they were lacking to set up the fight the way they were looking for is a mobility item on the Nyx. There was no Blink Dagger, there was no Force Staff, either of those two, and they just blow up the Bane there and take the fight by storm.
FNATIC just smoked underneath the Dire Observer Ward in mid lane. They had 4 heroes right on top of that Observer Ward and smoke, and now they'll move looking for a kill, but EG is obviously very aware of this, and they're backing out. FNATIC are ready for the fight. A little bit more of an interesting position considering Mushi is the one carrying the dust, and not Net, who I'd assume would be the front liner. Maybe with the Eul Scepter you can understand it more for a Leshrac.
It's just, well, they don't really have a good hero to put on. I think they should maybe put it on the Viper, honestly. Like you said, from a frontline perspective, that's the best, but if it comes to solo kill potential, you know that Mushi, if he just dusts the bounty, he will kill him alone. So that's the advantage there. I ran out of...
Yeah.
Oh? Okay. Alright, I'm not sure what's going on. We're okay. We're good. I'm just panicking over here. Don't worry
You're cool.
about me.
Relax, Cinder. We're good.
With that said, though, I probably should switch my batteries. So.
Oh, FNATIC. They're going on the mid lane. PPD being stunned up. Mushi actually didn't start with the Eul this time around. Used the lightning to slow down PPD, and this is what we're talking about with FNATIC, where all you gotta do is just run yourself in, find yourself a kill, and then instantly take an objective after. Edict's on cooldown for the moment, and they still have to be a little bit cautious. They don't know exactly what Arteezy's managed to pick up. It's an SMY, so there's no Blink Dagger for Arteezy, and in fact, he's getting close. Yeah, now he's actually visible to FNATIC. So they're very aware of it. But with the army of Treants, the Chen army behind him, and Edict coming back off cooldown, Mushi is still very defensive on the back line. He's refusing to show himself. While the tier 2 tower is slowly being whittled away, the fortification will wear off on Arteezy. They found Ohio. Sumail again the double thumb with the impel, but Ohio is protected by the knife for a moment, and then back from Universe. Absolutely perfect. At least the Spinoza will stop that Death Ward. The FNATIC are going to lose absolutely everyone in the mid lane. It's a double kill for Arteezy, almost a full team wipe, and it probably will be. Nyx Assassin's got the blink so he can catch up to Net, and they will find it. A full team wipe up against FNATIC. EG with a great fight, and FNATIC, they looked good. They looked in a position, or at least a position they wanted to have, but EG just played it out so well.
Yeah, they were about to gain some ground. They almost took 5 towers now against only the 3 of EG. Considering how hard they got shut down early, I still think they're playing their lineup fairly well. But when it comes to these team fights, Universe is incredible on the Darkseer, obviously getting a great back wall there, and the Blink Dagger on Nyx has just paid dividends immediately after he got it. That was the 2nd consecutive fight where he's just landing these just game-winning stuns as the opener. And it's so easy to just follow off for EG. The moment they get ahead in the fight, you just look at FNATIC's lineup. How are they ever going to team fight if they don't initiate? Like if they lose a hero in the beginning, what's their response? Their only real damage in team fights right now is Mushi. And he has 900 health.
Oh, Ohio. Okay, he found him. Does he have enough damage here? Obviously, you don't have like something like a Dagon on him, but Ohio, he's running. He doesn't start the TP. He sprouts up Fear, who doesn't have a way to get out of the sprout. But Ohio, like, okay, he's holding on to his TP. Actually, will use his TP scroll as opposed to just the teleportation ability.
Yeah, good choice. Now they can try to make it play because they got some information about the bounty hunter. He might teleport top and look for PPD. That's exactly what they're going to do. Very nice here from FNATIC. Just had them a kill. A little bit of layering of stuns here, but or disabling, but it's fine. Oh, courier! Yeah, that shouldn't be there. PPD really wanted that 19-minute earn. Samel have to wait.
Samel's prepping himself for revenge. He's hiding in the tree line. He doesn't have any help though. And there is the Radiant Sentry wall that just got planted down, so they're looking for the cliff ward. It doesn't exist though, it's a little bit further down to the southeast, as well as one sitting in the mid lane. But there's some breathing space for FNATIC. Not a hell of a lot, because you've still got Arteezy freely farming across the map. Like, he picked up the SMY just before that fight began in the middle lane. Now he's already got a Blink Dagger and another 2.1k gold on this Sven. He is a beast. Like, the amount of money he's managed to pull in, right now he's sitting at over 600 gold per minute. And same for the experience.
And this is when we start looking at win condition, right? How can FNATIC actually win this game? And
I can see how they can stall the game.
I'm looking for answers here of how to do it. It's kind of an all-in draft for pushing early, unless if you don't allow the enemy team to farm as much as they have. But when you're this rich on the Sven, you have all of this setup. They have so many stuns. If FNATIC want to win this late, they need to tailor their entire itemization around countering the Sven now. There is no other way. He's just that far ahead. EG are even on the Dire. They have Roshan advantage, and contesting the Roshan for FNATIC is so difficult against all of this invis. They just don't have information.
How could you counter the Sven though? Like right now, Arteezy could just like buy himself up a BKB and jump into the fight. They can't really stop that.
This could be an Axe Viper game, honestly, because there's one hard, like very strong core on the enemy team that you want to shut down. I think in those cases,
Viper will need to stay alive in order to actually get that kind of money mid one.
Dead one. Hey,
he's now died 5 times in the first 20 minutes. And
that's Roche too, I think.
Yeah, it should be. But they will have a trade-off. Ohio is pushing up the top lane a long way. I know you're like, talking about win conditions. I'm thinking like maybe if you get like a Blink and Hex over on Nature's Prophet, but like he's staring down the barrel of what? Like he's trying to decide if it's a Maelstrom or a Hand of Midas if you try and play catch-up in this game. Do you bank on the fact that you can split push with the Nature's Prophet hard enough that EG would be forced into a trade position every time they want to push high ground?
I don't see a good alternative right now to split pushing. I think if he goes for something like a Hex build, the same question just poses itself.
It's an Axe.
How are you gonna kill Arteezy?
It's an Axe. You just pick up the point booster.
Good. Go for the split push style. It's your best chance. I still think I still have a hard time seeing them winning the game because of it. But it's if they want to keep themselves have a fighting chance, it is the way to go. Like 5 manning at this point, you're just flat out gonna get. Maybe not 5-0 every fight, but you saw the tendency that was showing in the last fight. Yep. Now there's an Aegis. Sven almost has.
This is nice for Mushi. Or is it? Oh, it's nighttime, so the first one's going to be revealed. It's going to be Samel. Throws up the Spy Carapace. The silence will buy a little bit of time. Mushi, he's just going to Fiend Script and Pulse Nova it down. And this is a nice kill for Leshrac. Another 614 gold injected into him. And that's actually huge for Mushi. Now he's only 400 gold away from completing up the BKB, which gives him the ability to stand during the EG fights. Apart from mid one who's dead again. Oh. That didn't take long.
The BKB is the correct item choice, I think, but he can't stand in the middle of the fight. He dies to Death Ward and 3 Sven hits. Sven, that's the problem I was talking about. Sven is just that farm. Mushi is...
Is he going to get out of this? He's going to TP out, but Arteezy around the corner, the Stormbolt! While it was thrown, he actually got stunned back inside the base. So the stun applied, but the TP completed. And it wasn't even one of those global Stormbolts that flew. Or else that stun wouldn't have been instant.
Yeah, Arteezy already used his blink. That's one of those moments where it would be nice to know if he overshot his blink or timed it perfectly, because that's like the difference between life and death there for the Leshrac if he did overshoot it.
Notice Arteezy's build as well. I was wondering if this Hyperstone would go into an Assault Cuirass to try and go for like... It's actually a Moonshot. Yeah. The second Hyperstone's flying up the Kur at the moment.
They don't really need the armor from Ace D right now. I think he just needs to This is more... I actually don't know the math behind just raw farm, because obviously the minus armor allows you to clean up camps a little bit faster, but I would say this is the better economy and farming build probably is that Moonshard. And from a teamfight perspective right now, again, FNATIC, you either control this Sven constantly or you just lose heroes within a matter of seconds.
EG.
And we haven't talked about the vacuum combo with Sven either. There are some very famous moments in Dota with vacuum into Sven Cleave, vacuum into Stormhammer. I think the vacuum Sven Cleave that's very famous was the ultra kill that I can't remember who got it at. It was at the Thor. It was Fear who got it at Thor Open in 2012, I think. And then there was the vacuum Stormhammer at TI3 from Orange. So it's actually funny that those players are playing in this matchup that have some of the famous vacuum Sven moments. So EG. Maybe they're trying to remind FNATIC players of what went down back then. Oh. It's a tough spot to be in. Sven's going to get another tower. FNATIC doing their best to split push though, and again, it is the approach, but I think this is when you're going to have to try to defend. You're not strong enough to trade.
Well, you're not really ready to defend though. Like Ohio still has his Wrath of Nature down, so you're missing a huge amount of damage to start the fight off. You at least take the mid tier 2. And there's a lot of momentum applied towards the top. It keeps Nature's Prophet now 70 gold away from having his full Aghanim Scepter. So then, actually, no, EG doesn't go in. Like, okay. You'd actually consider they would go all the way in. And stop that Prophet from going for the split push. Don't they feel stronger at this point in the game? Or is it still, you want to find the pickoffs with the Nyx and the Bounty Hunter? Like, you don't have that much confidence in your Sven without having, like, a big BKB behind him.
I think they might have gone high ground if the Aegis was on Arteezy. It's actually quite puzzling that it's on Fear. I don't know if that was a misclick when they picked it up, or if it was deliberate. It just seems like a very weird choice to put it on Bounty Hunter, to be honest.
It does.
So I'm gonna have to go with that.
Net. Interesting engagement. Net's gonna actually dust up Fear, and Fear's gonna track up Net. As Net walks back over the rest of his team, Sumail blinks himself forward. They're just chasing after him. With the extra Dagon damage from Sumail, he has enough to find that pick up before FNATIC can really do anything. And
they got the track off. I think Chen's dead too.
They may even lose the Chen army on to boot. No, DJ, there's Sumail right behind him. That movement speed. There's just no way to stop EG from chasing you down like this. And again, Ohio, like he's the only one that could potentially relieve the pressure of FNATIC by forcing EG to come back to the top lane.
Oh, this army is going to go down now. Sven actually using the God Strength for this. I think that might be a little bit of an overkill. There's no way of resummoning them for 20 seconds, and now they can't use the God Strength for high ground.
It might have been a misclick as well.
But, I mean, it's not. It doesn't really matter that much. If EG's game plan isn't to push high ground yet, they could just use this to farm another wave.
It looks like they're going to try
efficiency, and
they're actually going to battle against split push. Arteezy gets BTs over on this Sven, so he can come back. Ohio, top lane, Fear of the Sprout, but of course he still had the vision thanks to the track. So Ohio has been doing the best he possibly can to keep that top lane pressured and EG back, but you knew it was going to bite him in the butt at some point. Especially when Mushi as well as Mid One now walk underneath the Dire Observer Ward into the Dire jungle. They're very, very visible. And Fear in Universe, yep, there it is, the Iron Shell over on Fear. Surging him in so he can catch up to Mid One. The Iron Shell damage starts over on Mid One, and he realizes he can't get himself away. Universe will come over, they got a double Iron Shell. That's a really good stun though, with a follow-up from Mushi, the lightning damage, but of course, you've already got the Greaves up. But and really Mushi has to BKB to get himself out of here.
Yep.
With the TP. That's, it's kind of weird, like, I don't know what they were trying to achieve, moving those two big cores up into EG's jungle, just after they also lost their Prophet on that top lane.
They're getting desperate. They feel like they need to find something, and they're not wrong. That was probably not the way to do it. You know, the whole map is just so scary to move on. Maybe you want to try to move in pairs just in case EG try to make a play with, say, the Nyx and Bounty together as the only two, because they've done that quite a bit. If those were the only two there, I think FNATIC turn around that and maybe get a kill or two, but they were just outnumbered. Awesome Mail has found Mushi.
Yeah, he's willingly taking the damage from Mushi as Mushi.
Oh, this is not good.
Does he know something? He just used his stun. They're chasing it down, and Mushi can't TP himself out. Like, obviously there's no BKB. His TP's on cooldown.
Alright, mad
He
jukes.
actually buys his Void Stone, and wait, did he lose Sumail in the trees? He lost Sumail in the trees. Sumail ran down south and thought he was there. Mushi just needs another 8 seconds, then he can...
Wow.
Then he can actually TP himself out. Sumail has actually juked himself.
I'm really surprised that worked. but Mushi's gonna be very happy with that. Well, I don't know if he's gonna be happy with that because he doesn't even know what was coming. I think. But
he felt something was wrong though. Like he threw out the lightning. I don't know if he saw any kind of damage because he didn't take any damage.
Illusion.
When is next Roche? We're looking at 1 minute until potential spawn time. I didn't notice the pop-up. I think it has been there. I can't even. I've observed so many games, and I still can't remember when it is that shows the Roshan respawn time. If it is when the minimum respawn comes, and then
it's easy to miss when you have like a whole bunch of items also coming up around the same time. That's why it'd be really nice if the time actually showed the real time. It would spawn up for all our spectators.
I'll spend the BKB now. I was gonna say I really like the fact that Arteezy went for Boots of Travel because it shows that EG identify and prepare for the worst case scenario. They know they're ahead. The only thing they need to secure is that they don't get caught with their pants down and don't have TPs to come back to base and defend against the Prophet. They're way ahead in terms of team fight, both when you look at their farm but also composition. I would just say they're flat out better and playing to their own strengths right now.
So you can see Samel trying to make an opening there. He blinked himself forward and triggered this by a Carapace, so he got hit by the lightning. Unfortunately for him, the rest of EG aren't really ready to go. Like, this bounty hunter isn't like what you'd see as like your classic bounty hunter looking for something like a blink dagger. Instead, it's like this phase boot drum Vlad's into BKB build over on Fear. He's almost playing this as like a one-position bounty hunter.
I think Fear plays one of the best bounty hunters right now. He has a very different approach too. You're saying in this game, but I think in general, Fear just plays the hero fundamentally different from other players. Yeah, like you said, carry type of build this game. I think he's one of the only bounty hunters to go phase boots, if not the only one. Most others get the arcane boots and play more of a utility role. He's looking for more fighting. In this game, it's kind of a no-brainer because it's just better to get the mech on the Darkseer, so perhaps with that in mind, it's a little bit easier for him to make the call. But he's just done so much with his team this game. He's found like solo pickoffs because of his item build. It's not something you generally see a bounty hunter solo killing off Prophet. Maybe that's the game plan from him, is that my job this game, shut down Prophet, shut down Chen. I'll do it on my own if I have to.
And even if he doesn't just shut them down all the time, it's the fear of Prophet where he just cannot keep the split push going. And this allows EG to find themselves in a position where they don't have to be forced into a trade-off. Of course, Arteezy has gotten so much farm right now that not a lot's going to stop this. DJ very quickly TP's out, so he's out to safety. And his teammates to pick up, he's trying to get the Vlads, but he's still a while off from getting that. They're waiting for Roshan. EG is so unlucky though. It's the max, almost the max spawn time for Roshan. So they have to wait a very long time before they can kick in. In the meantime, Mushi, he's still farming up. He's a long way from finishing up this scythe though.
1400 to go. He might have it for EG's high ground push if they wait for the Roche. Currently, Arteezy's posing in a very aggressive position. Looks like he just wants to go in. Oh, good nightmare.
Can they follow it up though? Not when Universe has 4 staff and Arteezy's facing the right way. But Fear's also in the neighborhood. They've got a full Chen army in here, but Arteezy, he's forcing the issue. You never know when Roshan's going to spawn up, but the top lane's not pushing in that aggressively. Like, it's on its way, but it's not that bad. So you took out the tier 3 talent. If you get the Aegis the Immortal, your next push is going to be pretty good. And in fact, yeah, now they come back. Easy money for Arteezy. He's up to 383 CS, 31 minutes in on this event. He's going at 740 gold per minute on this event.
Please stay under 899, Arteezy.
For all those
I think we can all agree that's the important thing in this game.
Hey, I need him to get more kills. According to my prediction, I had Sven getting the most amount of kills in the game. Obviously wrong.
He just needs to get another 22 this game, then he surpasses OD, so... If FNATIC want to give you a helping hand, they could feed him like 5 times in the town.
FNATIC would have to... Like, they would actually have to really fight back and like, kill Arteezy off multiple times in order to get this game back into balance. Like, because there's still, like, they're 21,000 net worth behind as well as experience behind. Now, Fear scouts out the Roshan's up, and Arteezy quickly jumps in. Samel's going for killer style build, a level 3 Dagon on this Nyx Assassin. So they really want to keep these pickoffs going. The only concern I'll have is that, like, if EG don't win the fight, the FNATIC could find themselves back in this, and you won't find that Dagon being as effective for Samel. But it looks like EG is undefeatable right now.
It's a very, 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 very big if they don't win a fight.
Watch the top lane.
I think FNATIC, once again, they need to play dodge. As long as they can.
they actually broke the smoke. Those creeps were just about to die. They could have kept their presence here a secret and maybe caught off Samel when he does exactly this. TPs into the lane with no other help. But because they didn't have anyone and EG was down doing Roshan, maybe just FNATIC didn't believe that's where EG was. Or they thought one person would come back by themselves and be overconfident, get the pick and just move on. Either way, EG take Roshan for no trade-off. In fact, also burn the smoke from FNATIC.
And I think this is about the time when EG start prepping to end the game. You look for Arteezy maybe to finish off his Daedalus. If you want to play it really, really safe, you get him his buyback too, and then you just look to rolling. This time they gave the Aegis over to the Nyx. I think that's a very good choice. Sven, first of all, doesn't really have an inventory slot, and secondly, Sumail can now go for these aggressive blink stuns, set up the fight, and know that he has that safety net around him.
I'm interested to see if Arteezy feels concerned enough that he saves for buyback, because he's got the money for a Daedalus right now, if he wants the whole shebang. And Witch Doctor's getting very close to his Aghanim Scepter, another critical item. They're just rolling in the money. And Ned's just waiting with his Chen army. He's been here for the last minute, hoping for an opportunity. And PPD is it. Ohio jumps in. There goes Shafine's grip. And Ohio, well, there's no damage from the Wrath of Nature, but they have enough physical to get through PPD. Only just so. Like, that's how much effort you have to put into killing off the Witch Doctor. It's still good for FNATIC because they're able to slow down that Aghanim Scepter.
That kill right there really shows the state of the game and how little damage they have. This is a 35-minute Prophet that's struggling to kill a Witch Doctor in a full Fiend script with level 2 heal only. That wasn't even a level 4 Voodoo Restoration, so I guess he has some points and stats, right? But, yeah. But still, that's not what this kill should look like at this state of the game.
No.
There's the Daedalus, there's a Dagon 4. I like the gem pickup from FNATIC. Probably should have gone for it way earlier. I think it's one of the best items to buy if you're controlling the game very well, or if you're really far behind. It's all about vision to make the right educated decisions.
I could understand them not picking it up though, considering every single hero and every single lane was dying.
Yeah.
So the ability to maintain possession of that would have been very difficult. At least now they have some other things, like it's not just the gem. That Scythe of Vice is now completed. So Mushi will have himself the disable. And they're instantly looking for a target. They ping out this Ven and they want to go for him.
He does have buyback.
But there's no blink on Mushi. So even though he's got this Scythe of Vice, he almost requires EG to run at him. And then just use that disable at an opportune time. Where's the rest of EG headed now? But obviously they still want to go through bottom lane. Like there's no tier 3 tower down here, so this is the best place for them to go. And they can leave this event on the top lane if they want to, but Arteezy's he's just legging it.
Yeah, I think it's go time now.
Which means it's FNATIC's defense time. That Scythe has to really play.
I wish them all the luck in the world for this fight.
Well, the only
buyback gonna need it, I think.
The only buyback they've got is over on the Nature's Prophet. Actually, that's even worse because Arteezy, he can just buy back and BT back in if he wants to. Now the attack, Arteezy with the Stormbolt, only on the mid one, but he is first up with the Iron Shell. Mid one, the Hand of God cannot keep him alive. Arteezy is stunned up. They forced off him away to safety as PPD lets the Death Ward rip a lot of damage into DJ, but no real kills. Lushi! 1399, he goes down. You got 1453 on that crit. Okay, you cannot repel physical damage of that magnitude. EG take the game 24/7 against FNATIC. And oh my, it took until that last little attack with FNATIC to actually admit this is over.
And realistically, if you look at over the course of the game, it's felt like since minute 10, you had a good feeling that EG were winning this game, and